Down the right field line, Naylor makes the catch, doubles it off, and that's the ball game.
The Mariners are one game away from claiming the American League Division Series. An incredible night, especially for one fan who caught Cal Raleigh's 61st home run ball.
I told the lady next to me, I said, okay, this is my shot. He's going to hit me a home run right now. And it landed in the bullpen and bounced right up to me. I caught it in my glove.
We have all the highlights from Detroit. And one superfan is struggling to keep the good vibes going after learning somebody stole some of his Mariners memorabilia. How he's supporting the team's playoff run despite that loss.
There shouldn't be this, hey, we're going to pretend to arrest you. We're going to pretend by putting you in handcuffs.
Also ahead tonight, a man is accused of stealing a petition from a signature gatherer in Covington. Tonight, organizers for Let's Go Washington say it's not the first time it's happened.
Well, are you ready for the first snow of the season? For some of the mountains and some of the passes, we'll get you caught up on the latest with your weekend forecast coming up.
To the Mariners in a moment. First to some breaking news tonight. 4 people are hurt after a crash on Highway 2 near Everett, 2 of them under the age of 18. The State Patrol says the crash happened about 8 o'clock tonight after a trooper tried to stop a reckless driver. The driver took off, then crashed. The driver then got out and went over the barrier and fell onto the ground below. No word yet on how badly they were hurt, but the State Patrol arrested them for suspicion of DUI. 3 others were taken to the hospital as a precaution. Well, the Mariners are back on top. The M's ran away with Game 3 in Detroit. That makes it 2-1 Mariners in the American League Division Series. A lot of excitement today. Remember, the series is a best of 5, so the Mariners still have some work to do, but in a playoff run, 2 decades in the making, safe to say fans are feeling hopeful. This is King 5 News at 11. I'm Greg Copeland. Let's get right to Paul Sylvie. A little nerve-wracking toward the end of that one, Paul.
A lot of optimism, though. Cal Raleigh, J.P. Crawford, and Gino Suarez all homered in the game, but it was Logan Gilbert who shut down the Tigers in the 8-4 win. 1 run over 6 innings with 7 strikeouts. Chris Egan reports from Detroit.
In games 1 and 2, Gino Suarez and J.P. Crawford were 1 for 15 combined. In game 3, Gino and J.P., they were on base 5 times. They had 3 RBI, and they each homered. But J.P. Crawford says this was a total team effort to get the win in game 3.
We had a good day, 1 through 9, and that's the team that we are. You know, we create chaos, and, you know, we just keep the line moving.
When you had J.P. on the box, and you always think he's going to do something well, you know, and today he did a really good job. He take a walk, he hit a big homer, and then he did a sacrifice, you know. That's what how deep is our lineup right now, you know, is everybody can do something.
1 through 9, you know, you're seeing guys have good at-bats, and that's kind of what we're preaching, and you know, give credit to a lot of the guys, you know, it was the bottom of the lineup that started tonight, Vic and JP.
Cal Raleigh is batting .462 during this series and added his 61st home run during Game 3. He even got the ball back from the dump it here fan. Here's Cal on the homer.
I was just trying to get him over and small thoughts, and, you know, I was able to get in the air.
The offense was clicking, but Cal Raleigh says it's Logan Gilbert who set the tone.
Yeah, he was great. You know, he was really attacking hitters. You know, was able to limit, you know, the free bases. Give him credit. You know, gave a few singles there early, but never wavered.
He's a cold-blooded killer when he steps on the mound, and I think that's why his name's Walter. You know, it just sounds like a scary name. No offense to the Walters out there.
Bryce Miller will get the start in Game 4. He's faced off against the Tigers 3 times, twice in 2023 and once in 2024. In those 3 starts, he pitched 19 innings combined and didn't allow 1 earned run. Pretty impressive stuff. Another interesting stat, the Detroit Tigers, they have not won a home game here since September 6. In Detroit, I'm Chris Egan, King 5 Sports.
The Yankees beat Toronto, so that means Game 4 between the M's and Tigers starts at noon tomorrow.
So tonight's win bittersweet for a Mariners superfan. He's trying to track down a stolen collection of jerseys and some other memorabilia. But as King 5's Jim Nelson found out, even that couldn't keep him from the watch party at T-Mobile Park, Jim.
Yeah, Greg, I don't think anything was going to keep him out of here. He just found out about this yesterday, so he's been trying to sort that out. Kind of a bummer after he watched games 1 and 2 here at the ballpark, but just being here sure does help. A nearly 3-hour rain delay.
If I'd known I was going to be on TV so much today, I would have shaved.
Couldn't keep these diehards away.
That's the opening line of the story.
Cheering the M's on from halfway across the country.
At least I took a shower.
This guy needs a pick-me.
It's hard to describe, really.
Daniel Carroll co-founded the Maple Grove, the cheering section for the Big Maple, former Mariners pitcher James Paxton. This week, Carroll discovered more than a dozen jerseys and other items were stolen from his storage unit at his Mercer Island condo building.
I hope I can recover a couple of things, especially the really unique things. The Paxton sign thing is just, it's not something you can do that moment again exactly, so that'd be really nice to get back. The King Felix one, because that took a lot of effort to find a yellow jersey and all the pieces. The rest of it, okay, whatever.
That King Felix jersey was custom.
And I was like, no way. That one too? That one too? You've got to be kidding. Like that, my heart really sank on that one.
But he's here.
Lovely to be in the ballpark in October. I used to work down in Pioneer Square, and I would walk past the stadium every day going into work going, someday I'm going to be in that building, and it's going to be freaking great.
Taking in the moments.
Maybe we're going to hit. Maybe a double. Yeah. Good job, Victor. Got it, kid.
And distractions. Personal favors.
Let it breathe.
Aren't at the top of the M's list right now.
Bottom of the lineup showing up.
But winning.
We could go deep. We could go deep. This could be it.
Sure eases the pain. So Daniel has been in contact with police. He thinks these items might show up somewhere, maybe online, which is why he's asking everybody to help him. Keep an eye out. Live in Seattle, Jim Nelson, King 5 News.
Much more coverage is available on King 5 Plus. You can watch all of our stories from this postseason push for free. Just download the King 5 Plus app on your TV and watch for free.
It matters on multiple reasons. It matters to those people who had their signature stolen or ripped up.
A man is accused of stealing and destroying a stack of petitions from a signature gatherer in Covington. Tonight, the group behind those petitions is also upset about how they say deputies handled the situation. King 5's Maddie White has the story.
What we're doing is protected by the Constitution, gathering signatures and involving people in the voting process.
That's Brian Haywood, founder and sponsor of Let's Go Washington, a political action committee that's working to launch 2 initiatives.
Stealing, defacing, intimidating, harassing, assaulting, those are all things that are clearly not okay in a civil society.
That's what he says happened outside a Walmart in Covington 2 weeks ago.
Haywood says his representative was sitting at a table here outside the store when a man came up to him asking him to sign his petition, a petition that aims to ban trans girls from competing on girls' sports teams in K-12 schools. But when he was handed the papers, Haywood says he ran off and ripped them.
What happened next has Haywood concerned.
Haywood says when officers responded, they handcuffed the man, but whispered in his ear that they were doing it just for show and that it was more for the petitioner to see.
I'd be really pissed off if I were him.
On Facebook, the city of Covington criticized the deputy's response, and the city manager did too when he spoke to me over the phone.
You know, we hold our police officers to an extremely high standard, and sometimes when they dip below that standard, unfortunately, our trust deviates. But they're human too.
Covington contracts with the King County Sheriff's Office. They responded to the criticism, writing, quote, "We are reviewing the incident involving the signature gatherer at Walmart. We will be meeting with the officers at Covington PD to ensure we appropriately respond to this type of incident in the future." They also said while the suspect was not booked in jail, the case was sent to prosecutors the same day. Meantime, Haywood says more of his signature gatherers are being harassed than ever before. Last month, a woman was arrested and charged with ripping up a Let's Go Washington initiative petition in front of a Tacoma Fred Meyer.
The violence is about 10 times what we saw. Just in the first 2 weeks, it's about 10 times what we saw in all of last year when we were gathering signatures.
Maddie White, King 5 News.
A shame, because especially if you don't know why, and even if you do know why, it's still a shame.
A grim discovery in Kitsap County. 2 people found dead inside a Paulsbo home. The sheriff's office says both lived there, but he didn't elaborate on their relationship. They were found by another relative around 7 o'clock this morning. Deputies say it will take some time to learn exactly what happened. At this point, they do suspect foul play is involved, but also say they are not looking for anybody.
There isn't somebody in the neighborhood that you have to be worried about. We have the scene secured and we're conducting the investigation.
We're waiting for the medical examiner to release the cause of death.
We just want to know where our Michaela is.
A family is pleading for answers more than 2 years after a Skagit County woman disappeared. 25-year-old Michaela Standridge was last seen running from her boyfriend's house in Concrete toward the Skagit River. She'd called 911 for help, but vanished by the time deputies arrived. She also posted a message to social media saying, quote, "If I ever go missing or anything, just know I didn't leave."
She was terrified of something. She never explained really what was going on, but she said she knew things, and she just surrounded herself with really bad people, and that wasn't like her.
Last month, campers found what appeared to be Michaela's jacket and ID about 11 miles downriver from where she was last seen. Her family is now offering a reward of more than $10,000 for information.
He launched in the air, and he landed on his back, neck, and his head hit the ground, and there was no movement after he had landed on the ground.
A witness describing the moment a Puyallup High School cross-country runner was hit by a car. It happened at 7th and 2nd Avenue yesterday. He's in serious condition tonight. The driver stayed at the scene but was arrested for not having a court-ordered ignition interlock device, which is required after a DUI conviction. Investigators do not believe impairment was a factor in this case, but records show the driver has multiple traffic offenses, including a 2018 negligent driving conviction. The man released last week after serving 40 years for multiple rape convictions in Spokane is now living in Auburn. 78-year-old Kevin Coe, known as the South Hill Rapist, was released last Thursday. The State Department of Social and Health Services originally said he would be living at an adult family home in Federal Way, but the King County Sheriff's Office says it found different housing for him after getting, quote, some pushback in Federal Way. Now he is registered as a level 3 sex offender in Auburn. It's not clear what type of housing he is in right now.
This should be a wake-up call as far as our security presence in the Capitol.
That is the message from one state lawmaker after yesterday's break-in at the Capitol building. Surveillance cameras captured the moment that a car parked on a flower bed outside the Capitol right there. Suspect got inside and then knocked over signs, flags, statues, set a fire in the reception room. You burned the carpet right there. Security staffers alerted the State Patrol, and just 11 minutes later, he was in custody. The budget signed this year by Governor Ferguson cut $3 million from campus security programs, including the video monitoring system. The agency that runs state properties is now calling on the governor to restore those funds. King County is speeding up how quickly justice is served. The prosecutor's office now has a 30-day deadline to file felony charges in both adult and juvenile cases. That is down from an average of 100 days. The new policy took effect October 1st. Prosecutor Lisa Mannion says the change comes after a data-driven push to review cases more quickly.
It is better for victims who are facing uncertain times and want to know what's happening after they've suffered harm. It is better for law enforcement who work really hard to bring cases to us and want to know what the impact of their investigation will be.
Policy is a first for the office in its 135-year history.
Vote is 9 ayes, 0 noes.
Moving on. The King County Council is moving forward with the proposed crisis care center in Seattle's Capitol Hill neighborhood. It will provide around-the-clock mental health and substance abuse care. The vote happened after hours of public comment and discussion over concerns with the old polyclinic site on Broadway. A major concern is the cost for the property, $41 million.
I believe that, yes, we need to provide help for people. I don't think this money should be spent hand over fist rehabbing an old building.
And the care center is slated to open in 2027. The city of Tacoma is considering an expansion to its camping ban ordinance. The proposal would ban encampments within 5 blocks of public parks, libraries and schools, and 10 blocks of permanent shelters. Camping is already restricted near emergency shelters and waterways.
Lots of conversations with community members about, I
want to go to a park, or I want to go to the library, or my kids go to a school and there's someone camping right outside. And so that was meant to just really kind of look at, these are public spaces that we want open to the public and accessible and safe.
The new plan would also pair people who are sighted with resources like therapeutic court. The City Council is set to take up the proposal next Tuesday. If it's approved, changes could take effect by the end of the month. 369. That is how many Washington Starbucks employees are losing their jobs. Comes after a wave of store closures last month, including the two iconic roasteries in Seattle's Capitol Hill and SoDo neighborhoods. Starbucks previously said about 900 employees will be laid off all across the country. It says those employees will receive severance and benefits extensions. Highway 97 through Blewett Pass is finally back open tonight after a wildfire closed it for weeks. The Labor Mountain fire is burning nearly 40,000 acres near Cle Elum. WashDOT says some restrictions are still in place for drivers there, including reduced speeds. Delays are also possible. That fire is just 10% contained. Some good news, though, on the other wildfire in our state, or multiple wildfires, I should say. The Lower Sugarloaf fire is now 66% contained. That one scorched more than 42,000 acres near Leavenworth. And then you've got the Bear Gulch fire. That's the one burning in Olympic National Forest at 20,000 acres. It's still just 5% contained. Fire officials say cooler temps, clouds, rain could help the firefight there.
Well, then I've got some good news. It's going to be much cooler starting tomorrow and even colder for the weekend, including some mountain snow. We'll get you caught up on the very latest when we come back.
Also still ahead, new police recruits are stepping into virtual reality before they ever hit the streets.
When they go to their final deployment, or they do their live version of it, they're nailing it.
We're going to show you the new pilot program putting Washington's future officers to the test.